Oh man, it is so hot here. Yeah, all I need is a little bit of sand between my toes and call it a homecoming for me. Oh yeah, dude. As soon as I got a Chandler jersey, got traded to the Mavericks. I don't know what the curse is. Every time I buy somebody's jersey, they either get injured, they play really bad, or they just leave the team. Yeah, Granderson bought his jersey, went to a slump. Mark Sanchez, butt fumble. Darrell Reeves of the Jets, injured. Oh yeah. The other day I tried to buy a Raymond Felton jersey just to reverse the curse. The guy wouldn't even sell it to me. He said, "Don't do that to yourself. Why would you ever want to buy a Raymond Felton jersey?" Then I tried to explain it to him. I was like, "Hey, listen, every time I buy a jersey, they get injured or hurt."
Continue 1 mile, then turn right
Yeah.
on East 21st Street North.
I was just doing it just to see what happens to him. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm thinking of buying a Tom Brady jersey. Hopefully he gets injured. Yeah, I think I might just do that. All right, Knicks fans, welcome back to another session of Knicks Couch Report on Knicks Bros TV. This topic of tonight's segment is about if I was to be able to pick a fantasy team for the Knicks, still maintaining some of the roster, one or two players that I really like on the Knicks, and then just picking out fantasy players that I think would fit, or I just like to just imagine them playing for the Knicks, just because I think will be a awesome starting lineup and a bench as well. And there's a kind of a rule to it I kind of made up, is not really breaking the bank, meaning that I can't put LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant, all those guys on the team. It just can't be too ridiculous of a squad. So, and I also prompted this question to my brother as well, so hopefully he can make a video to see what he really likes. Now, before I really get started, before I became a Knicks fan, in high school I had a best buddy of mine who's from New Jersey, so I kind of really got hooked on the New Jersey Nets at the time. That's when they had Jason Kidd and Kenyon Martin, and then later on Vince Carter joined them. Now here's the thing: if we want to talk about, sorry, a little dry throat here. If we want to talk about Lob City and kind of starting the originals of that, to be quite frank with you, it was the New Jersey Nets. There was nothing like Jason Kidd throwing the ball up for Vince Carter for an amazing dunk. And what's amazing to me is I've never ever seen a career, not necessarily go downhill, but when you thought about Vince Carter at Toronto, you thought about a career like Kobe Bryant's, and he had a really good career all the way through New Jersey, and then going to Dallas and all this stuff kind of doesn't make sense. Now, somebody that had a close career like him, everyone's like, whatever happened to him, that was Tracy McGrady. T-Mac, I don't know whatever happened to him as well. So, with that being said, my starting point guard, well, before I get started, the three players that I've picked out to that are still on the Knicks, that I want them to be presented in my team, is obviously Carmelo Anthony. And still keeping Hardaway Jr. just because I think Kid has potential. Like going forward, I think he's going to be our franchise player. Again, that's just my guess. That's what I think. And also Calderon. Like I said, there's nothing like a wise point guard. That's why Jason Kidd, who used to be one of my favorite point guards, because he just knew everything there was about the game of basketball. So here we go. Starting point guard for my fantasy Knicks team without really breaking the bank, really going out there and getting the top paid guys, like Chris Paul or whatnot. I've picked Jeff Teague. I think Jeff Teague is amazing. Last year he had about 17 to 18 points per game. Jeff Teague is everything. If he really sets his mind to it and really plays hard, he is everything we saw in that series against the Pacers. He was the only reason why the Heat were still in it. And I think Marcus Teague on the Brooklyn Nets is going to end up being a good player too, but Jeff Teague for sure is the guy. Second, as my shooting guard, I've picked Hardaway Jr. Like I said, I think he's got potential. He's going to grow, and yes, I do have him as a starter. For my strong forward, I've picked Carmelo Anthony, 27.5 points per game. Actually, the year before last year was his highest points per game. You would think it would be last year with his 62-point game against the Bobcats, but obviously not. One of my two expensive players that I'm getting for this fantasy team is For my power forward, I've picked Kevin Love. If something kind of goes right with him kind of signing a 1-year deal, I guess, with the Timberwolves, that might be actually something possible we might be able to get in 2015. And what's sad about it is I really liked Kevin Garnett when he was on the Timberwolves before he became a Celtic. It's just sad how even Kevin Love and Kevin Garnett, they all had potential, and some of those years were wasted in the Timberwolves. And for my center, he doesn't get as much as rebounds I really like him to get, but I really, really like him, and I think he's a franchise player. That's Brook Lopez of the Nets. Really like him, about almost 21 points per game, but like I said, I need more rebounds out of him. Now, again, this is not breaking the bank here, but, I mean, some of those players are expensive, but like I said, it's not your typical fantasy team. Now, as far as the bench is concerned, I did mention I wanted to keep Calderon, and yes, he's my point guard coming off the bench. I think having someone that intelligent, someone that's willing to share the ball is definitely nice. This one I was a little iffy about, but I still have trust in him. For my shooting guard on the bench is going to be J.R. Smith. Being 6-man, I still consider him as a 6-man, but I think he has potential. Shooting forward, like I said, huge Vince Carter guy. I kind of wish, he didn't sign with the Grizzlies. Somehow, someway, he would have ended up the Knicks. Although we don't have much cap right now, it would be him just coming off the bench. I just think that'd just be awesome just to see him in a Knicks jersey. And another guy off the Hawks that was very impressive. That's very quiet. He's not your typical Noah or Jordan from the Clippers or anything like that. I kind of like him just the way his character is, and that's Millsap. I think Millsap would be he works hard for the rebounds. He works, he tries to get those tough shots in. So I really like him. Kind of reminds me of Paul Pierce for some reason, but that's just my perspective. And as my backup center will be Nikola Pekovic from the Timberwolves. Just like his attitude, I love the way he plays the game. So that's kind of really my picks of if I was a GM and I kind of had a little bit of cap room here or there, and I could kind of pick out players as I wanted, not really breaking the bank. This would be it. So, guys, tell me what you think. You could also state out of the Knicks lineup right now, who are the players that you would keep in a fantasy lineup. I ended up picking 3: Hardaway Jr., Melo, and Calderon. So, like I said, not big on Stoudemire anymore just because of an injury. Shumpert, too inconsistent. Let's see who else that's on that team. Obviously, no longer Chandler and Felton, thank goodness. Right now, that's really all I have. So, tell me what you think. Thanks for watching, and that's just kind of my opinion.